Storytelling Podcast, episode number 57. Welcome to the Storytelling Podcast, where everything's fictional, even you. And now, here are your hosts, two guys and a girl who lie for a living, Garrett, Zach, and Chrissy. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Storytelling Podcast, the podcast that's all about, what are we all about again? Fiction, and more fiction, and telling the best truths through the medium of lies. I am your host, Garrett Robinson. With me, as always, fellow co-hosts and fellow independent authors, ZC Bolger and Chrissy Moss. We write books, we tell stories, we lie all day, every day at my McDonald's. How's it going, guys?
Good. I don't know where that McDonald's line came from, though.
All day, every day at my McDonald's. No, I think it's
McDonald's is disgusting. Who wants to eat there?
Is it? Yeah. It's. I almost said, "Is it really?" And then I was like, "Wait, I'm so tired, you guys. Oh my God, it's good to be back, though. I gotta say that it is so good to be back. Holy crap, I've missed podcasting with you guys.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a little bit better once I get into Miami, which will be about not this week, but next after next podcast, I should be back in Miami.
Yeah,
that will be awesome.
Yeah. Scheduling-wise, we will be reliable again. We will be at the same day every week. We will be at the same time. Quick related announcement: our hosting got effed. So basically, the audio podcast isn't on right now. Like it doesn't. It's not online. We're not online right now. The audio podcast, like you can't listen to us on iTunes at this moment in time. So I'm busily restoring that, and if you're out there and you're one of the audio listeners, I apologize. And that, of course, is like the most pointless statement to make ever, because if somebody's watching this, then they're watching on video, they're not listening to audio, and if somebody is an audio listener, then they can't fucking hear me right now, because...
That is quite a catch-22.
God damn it. Anyway.
God damn.
So speaking of our non-video watchers, I did get this really cool T-shirt that I absolutely love, and
Everybody check that out.
It's jokey. It's a Joker Loki cross.
Oh, yeah, I was about to say, is that say Loki? No, that says that's
jokey.
J.
For anybody who is listening on audio at some point in the future, once I've restored it, it's Loki sitting on the throne, but he's basically a Loki Joker cross-up, and he looks amazing.
He does. He really does.
There's all kinds of new apps in Google Hangouts that I don't like. Showcase? What is this?
I want to try the one where I get to draw on people's faces.
Don't do it.
If I were to open it up, we would just die.
I'd just be penises everywhere.
Large gack.
Great big dicks. Okay, so there's this new one called Showcase. Let me see. I don't know how this. Can you guys see? Do you see anything? I don't know.
This is so not the time to be trying this.
Oh my God, it's cool. It seems cool though. Okay, fine. I'll turn it off. So let's do updates. I know it's been a while, so let's just try and keep our updates to a relatively manageable amount. But what do you guys got? What have you guys had going on?
I actually have one.
Yay! Chrissy goes first.
Tomorrow, my book Twilight Tales is going to be on sale for free for 3 days.
Twilight fan. I was going to say Twilight, and I was like, that's already taken.
I know. I named it that long before the Twilight series came out, but it doesn't matter because that's what everybody associates it with. But anyway, this is the one that has the Necropolis tale, the one that inspired Forgotten Ones. So it'll be free for the weekend, for this weekend and next weekend, because I'm trying the KDP Select to try to get a few eyeballs on it.
Are you going to be in Kindle Unlimited? Are you going to do that thing?
Mm-hmm. And I also put it on, or lowered the price of Forgotten Ones to $2.99. So if you want to catch that one, also.
Awesome. Did you get a haircut?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I just chopped off a whole bunch of hair, like a few weeks ago.
Looks good.
So it's shorter, yeah.
I wasn't on the last podcast, so.
We should always broadcast at this time of day because I don't know what it is exactly, Chrissy, but you look like you've got like a professional lighting setup going on. It's just like
I have a great big huge window to my side
yeah.
with a blinds pulled so that it's diffused light instead of direct.
And your eyes are like really popping. It's a whole, it's a
I
whole
could
awesome
flat it so that I have the jail cell looking thing going on. You know, stripes.
Do it. Do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Zach, what do you got going on? I mean, I know you've been busy as shit and like.
Yeah, I've been busy. I mean, I haven't been doing too much writing. I am waiting for Gingerbread Man 2 still.
I know, that fucking co-author, that guy, what an asshole.
Yeah.
He's got all this other stuff going on here.
I know, right? What have I been doing? I don't know. I've been doing consulting. I've been working on some consulting with some people up here where I am, which is fun. I really enjoy doing that. It's a lot of fun to help other authors.
And isn't it always so much easier to help them than it is to help yourself?
Oh my God, it's so much easier to be like, look, this is what you should do, and it's like, well, why am I not doing that? No, yeah, but I enjoy doing that because it's like I explain it to them as like, it's not a competitive market. It's not like if you publish your book, it's going to take away my readers. If anything, it's going to add to my readers.
Right.
So getting better books out there is something that I really enjoy doing. So that's
the more people that we pull that like I have made a certain number of people start buying ebooks. Personal friends of mine who are like, I want to read your book, and they start reading Kindle. Eventually, they're going to run out of things, and they're going to read other people's books, and it's a cool thing.
Yeah, exactly. And then
well, most of us can't publish more than one book a year. So
yeah, well, if you tried, you could.
Aren't Garrett?
You tried really, really hard. No, I bet you could publish more than one book a year.
Chrissy's published more than you've published more than one book a year.
I did like 10 of them. They were all like short stories and novellas. So I don't know if that counts.
No, but the thing is that I think a lot of people, I've run into a lot of people out there that think that they can only publish maybe one book a year. But honestly, you can do more than that if you do sit down and write every night and you just basically keep your discipline in. If you do that, you can publish multiple titles a year. I mean, Garrett and I did fucking Mid-Realm in 7 weeks. That's ridiculous.
That's because your guys are nuts.
Right, but I'm not saying to compare it to us. I'm just saying, like, we were able to do it because we kept our discipline in.
Right.
I know Johnny, he always says, don't look at us because we're crazy and you shouldn't be comparing yourselves. But it's inspiration. That's how I see it. You guys and Johnny and Sean and even Dave, you guys are inspiring. That you guys can, produce buttloads of words in a year that are publishable and readable and, a good story. And that is inspiring for people like me who write freaking slow as molasses.
Yeah, and that's why we expose ourselves in public.
If it's taken as inspiring, I'm totally fine with that.
Okay, there you go.
But if it's taken as like, oh, I can't do that, so I'm not even gonna try. I'm like, dude, that's your own stuff. That's not you comparing it to us. That's your problem.
No,
I'm sorry.
No, when I look at it that way, it's me getting down on myself because I know I should be writing or editing instead of playing a game of Minecraft or whatever.
Right.
But I'm playing Minecraft So,
Minecraft was explained to me today, actually. I've never played it. I never knew exactly what it was.
It's really fun.
Sounds fun. I have one other update, which I got some books to some people around here, and that I see, pretty often. And it's just the update. Honestly, is just it's fun to have people telling you that they're reading your book and they it's stuck in their head. Like they're reading Mid-Realm. This girl is reading Mid-Realm right now, and she's on Raven's part, and like Raven had just gone into this city, and I walked up behind her and I was like, hello, and she turns around, she's like, you don't even know what you're doing to me right now. I can't read until I get home. Oh my God, But she loves it. She loves it, and it's just like if you guys if you haven't experienced that, our listeners, if you haven't experienced that yet, it's honestly it's a reason to write.
Yeah.
Once you get that, it's like, ooh, I want more. You want to start questioning your readers, like, oh, tell me what your favorite part was. Oh yeah, I love that part too. And anyway, it's a reason to write. So
it's pretty much the
waiting
best.
for that to happen.
Yeah. Well, start giving books around to people that you see a lot.
Yeah. I don't have really much of anything going on, so I guess we can just get on.
Yeah. Right.
You mean besides the whole vlog and novel thing?
Yeah. Garrett's updates are going to take the rest of this podcast, so I'm just going to log out now.
Yeah. So the whole rest of the episode is just going to be. No, I'll briefly summarize for anybody who doesn't know. And the thing is that most people who would be watching this are YouTube
You probably
viewers.
see that.
Yeah, exactly. So they see me posting about it 18 times a day. But I did start a show, vlog and novel, 2 weeks ago now, and I'm basically live writing my entire books. I do all the outlining, write the first draft, and edit and cover design and formatting all on streaming video. And you can see my face on the screen, but you can also see my actual Scrivener window, so you can watch the whole thing happen and be written. And so I've written 2 weeks in a row. I've written a 10,000 word fantasy serialized project, which is like a backstory story to these like epic fantasy novels that I've wanted to write forever. And I actually got the idea when I was feeling kind of down in the dumps one day, and my wife pointed out that I hadn't published anything since we put out Wormspire, and that was 6 months ago. And
was it?
And it was in March. No, it was in February.
Oh my God, it doesn't feel that long ago to me. I'm like, oh, I got time.
Yeah, totally.
It goes by fast.
It does go by fast. So anyway, so that's the thing. But now I'm going to be writing an episode every week. It like the first week it was 16 hours of creation to do the one thing. This week it was about 12 hours. And so now I want to beat it down to about 10 hours a week to create a 10,000 word serial every week, and then be able to publish an episode every single week, but then also do the bigger projects like the next Realm Keepers and Rebel Yell and Vagrant and Simulator and et cetera.
Ninja Bread Man 2.
Ninja Bread Man 2. Totes. That's good. No, that's my goal. That's actually literally my goal for this week is write the next Nightblade and then immediately do Ninja Bread Man 2 so that they can both be basically done by next week.
Yeah. You're pretty close to the end of that, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm in the second to last chapter.
Good.
So question.
Yes.
How weird is it having people watch you write?
It's weird, but it's awesome because I don't fuck around. I don't do anything else. Like,
it's like it's keeping you.
I just be like, oh, I spelled that one wrong again.
Yeah, but like I don't care about that. And right. It's funny because like when I go back through the editing process, I'm like, oh my God, these are like I'm catching typos and everything, and I'm like, why didn't anybody comment on that when I wrote it the first time?
I think it's interesting watching you write because you'll do the whole you'll type something out and then you'll erase it and then type it again and then you erase it.
Yeah, like 4 or 5
I do that too.
Yeah. But it's been great because I don't screw around. I start writing and I'm very, very conscious that people are like, I mean, it sounds dumb, but I don't want this to come across the wrong way, but I'm like, why are you watching me? I'm so happy that you are because it's helping me so much and you guys are like enjoying it, but I don't understand why you're watching.
Okay.
I agree with that. I'm going to be so bored.
I actually don't watch it. I put it on in a window, so I'll have it going, and I will also have Chill Step going, which is a music video, or music. And so I can pop over and look at Garrett writing and be like, okay, get to work. And then I'll go do my work.
I haven't even seen this yet. I didn't. So it's live? People just watch you live?
Yeah.
Yep, just totally live.
Huh.
And I try to make it interactive. People can live comment. They can ask what I'm doing. I'll come to a part in the scene and I'll be like, okay, new character. I need a name. Simon Canton named one of my characters in the first episode. Somebody else named one of the other characters, but I don't remember who. And then this
you should
week.
Keep track of that so you can put notes in the end of it.
Yeah, that's actually a good idea. And then people get to vote on episode 3 how it starts. based on what happened at the end of episode 2. So I'm trying to make it more interactive, or as interactive as I can. Sorry?
I said I cast my vote today.
Yeah. But at the same time, I don't want to invest so much time making it interactive that it cuts out of my writing time. You know what I mean? So like when I'm writing first draft, I'm still producing more than 2,000 words an hour, and I want to keep it that way. And my outlining is still going very fast, and I want to keep it that way. I'm literally just trying to turn the camera on and acknowledge that the audience is there, but meanwhile be doing my thing. And it's been getting some love on Reddit too, which is
Really?
I didn't know Reddit really, and then I found a group.
Where?
There's a subreddit called Fantasy Writers, and they were like, we're all about process. How do you write? What do you write? Like, we're not here for self-promotion or anything. And I was like, okay, I'm going to try this. And I post my link, and it's like, I'm live writing my book, and you can see the whole process from beginning to end. I hope that's cool with the group, but I thought that some people might like to see it. And, like, people start upvoting it, and they're like, oh, my God, this is cool. I like seeing somebody else do this, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, oh, cool.
Reddit's an interesting place.
It's an interesting beast. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
It's very strange.
I mean,
I've been there once or twice, but I couldn't.
Oh, I'm there all the time. But the writing, because there is one that's called Writers, and so I've gone there, and they are. There's a lot of people in that particular subreddit. They're very anti self-publishing.
Right.
So you'll come across the people who are okay, either or. A lot of people who are self-publishing is evil and degrades books and is lazy, and then you'll find a few gems like Michael Sullivan who do self-publishing and enjoy it and love it and think more people should do it. And it's just.
Well, if you are a fantasy writer, anybody listening, the Fantasy Writers subreddit, like, don't go in there to hawk your own book because they're all writers. They're not super interested, right. But they're great people, and they do have one thread where every Friday you can promote a book if you want to, like if you've published it. It's like list what you've done, and which is perfect because I publish a new episode every Friday, so I just pop in on Friday and I'm like, hey, here's the latest episode 2 weeks in a row now. And it's cool. It's a great subreddit. Everybody seems really cool. I'm very new. I'm just like, hey guys, how's it going? But a lot of guys in there are self-publishing their own stuff, and it's right. Pretty cool. We have got some live comments. Scott Richards said, "Hi guys, late but here. Damn it, Scott, why you got to be so late?" And then Marco Jesus Narvaez Sarco said, "I'm Peruvian, but I live in Argentina. Say hello to Argentina." Hello, Argentina! Argentina! Whoop, whoop, yep! Hi, guys. Good to have you with us on this live show.
Something else I wanted to mention was, sorry, were you done with your thing?
Yeah, no, just Reddit, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to check that out as well. But something else I wanted to mention that I thought of was the Ninja Bread Man that we're going to be, I mean, we've mentioned this already, but we're going to be doing a re-release of the first book. And I redid the cover for it, which I sent over to Garrett.
It's so pretty.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's so fucking pretty.
You guys can watch out for that coming pretty soon. So that's going to be pretty fun. I think we'll probably release that, a week before number 2? Or same time? I think we should release them together.
Yeah.
Or at least close together.
Yeah.
Cool.
Whoa,
anyway, yeah, you guys can all watch out for that, and it's gonna be fun.
Cool. Like it.
You say so.
Well, I think we're also gonna be doing another editing pass on it, so it's gonna be a second edition.
Right.
And yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the other interesting thing that I'm doing now is selling direct. Zach, you should definitely get into this. Chrissy, you should get into it as well, I think. But basically, there's a website called gumroad.com.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They mention that on SPP sometimes.
Yeah, well, of course, I make my living off of stealing their ideas.
Of course.
And basically, Gumroad handles online sale of digital files. So you can sell any digital file online, and that's just what it is. And basically, the way that they work is they take 5% of every sale, and 25 cents per transaction. Now, what that actually works out to is if you sell a 99-cent book, then you get 70 cents. So it's like 70% royalties on a 99-cent sale, which right there you're like, oh, sweet. So this is twice as good as Amazon, and that's awesome. But it really kicks ass when you start selling more expensive things, because on a $4.99 sale, you make $4.50, I think. Yeah, you make $4.50, which is $1 more than you'd make selling that on Amazon. If you have a book like Wormspire, which is very shortly going to be available for direct sale on Gumroad, for an $8.99 sale, we're going to be making like $8 a sale on that.
That's what I like to hear.
Have you been selling
right?
any directly?
Well, I've only really been doing Nightblade on there, and and the other thing, Gumroad lets you do pre-orders. Woo!
Ooh, nice.
So at the back of every episode of Nightblade, it is there's a link. Hey, go get the next episode, and it link to my site. And they go to the site. Now, the thing is that I just publish that every week. So week one, I'll take it step by step. Week one, you publish episode 1, and Zach, we're gonna do the shit out of this for the next Realm Keepers book, by the way.
Let's do it.
Do it. So week 1, you publish episode 1, and the CTA in the back says, "Go get episode 2." Now that CTA is on Amazon and Kobo and Smashwords, because it takes them to your website. And on my website, it's a page for episode 2. Here's episode 2. Here's the description. And then there's a button at the bottom. Pre-order from the author for 99 cents. And that pre-order is direct to Gumroad. Then, on week 2, when I publish episode 2, I don't have to change the CTAs in the backs of all my books. I change the web page, and I say, buy it direct from the author, or buy it from Amazon, or buy it from Kobo, or buy it from... So you don't... I don't know, like, if you guys have experienced this, but, like, changing the back matter in your books and then republishing to all the different platforms is the most annoying thing in the world.
I'm sure.
So routing people to your web page and then just changing your web page and using that to do direct sales and direct pre-orders of the next book in the series is fantastic.
That's cool. CTA is call to action for any of our listeners that didn't know that.
Right. Sorry, marketing term. It's like, hey, I'm glad you enjoyed the book. Go do this thing. And they just enjoyed your book, so they're like, yes, I will do the thing.
Yeah, so you're calling them to action.
Exactly. Speaking of which, Scott Richards, if you are still watching this, which you better be, if you left us, you're dead to me, man. But Scott Richards has a fantastic paranormal, like urban paranormal series called The Shroud. And the first one is Guardians of the Shroud, I think it is.
Yep.
Or Defenders of the Shroud.
Guardians.
I think Defenders is the second one.
Right.
But anyway, Scott, you should absolutely set up pre-orders for your next book in the back of your current book.
He's been using your tutorials to reformat his books, and he's doing print now, too.
Yeah, he's doing. We've been Google chatting back and forth on his paperbacks, which he's formatting today.
Print is bomb, you guys.
Right.
You're not doing print, get into print.
Oh my God. Okay.
And it doesn't cost a friggin' cent if you. I mean.
Well, hardcovers do, and that's what I want to talk about.
Yeah.
I formatted the Dream Engine for Johnny and Sean from SBP.
Oh, they showed it today.
On the.
Yes.
Wait. No, but the paperback.
Yes, the paperback.
We haven't got the paper. We haven't got. Yeah. They just placed the order yesterday for hardcovers. Paperback. Yeah.
And Johnny was talking about how he didn't realize he had to approve the digital version of the physical. The hardcover first before they would send him a physical book, and so he's annoyed with himself over that.
Yeah.
Is that with Lightning Source?
Yeah. He kind of got that wrong, but I didn't really bother explaining it in the email because he was like, "Oh, God damn it! I had to approve the ebook cover before I was allowed to order physical covers, so I just said screw it and I ordered the physical covers." And I'm like, "That's not okay. Fine, whatever."
Didn't work apparently. But it was the paperback looked awesome.
Yeah. I'm excited. He just placed orders for the hardcovers yesterday, and I'm getting one, and so excited about it. And I've started doing all of my interior design on hardcovers and paperbacks through InDesign instead of just like printing a PDF from Word. Oh my God, it's so much better. It is notably, remarkably better, and you get fewer pages for the same amount of words, and it's still totally readable. I don't know exactly why, but Zach will talk in more detail later, but we're going to cut like 50 to 60 pages out of mid-realm.
Really?
Yep.
Well, then also plus our edit that's going to be taken out.
Yeah, but you know what that means, don't you?
Yeah, that we can put it back in 12 point.
Yes!
Oh my God, that's so exciting.
I know.
So that is good if you have a lot of words in your book, and not so good if you're like me and have written out in the...
Well,
I want
no,
it bigger.
I'm
it
sure
still is because it lets you reduce your price or keep your price high and make more profit off of it. Like, less pages is always good. Like, it actually is. Just because...
Well, my price is only $8 for because it's, it's not a very big book, so...
Right, but your print price, you drop your print price, right? So that... Because
the print price is $8.
No, but I mean...
It's a small book.
No, but I mean, if like your cost, like Create Space.
Oh,
like
my cost is like $2.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. No, that's what print price is. So, the less pages you have, that number drops, but you still keep it at $8, so you're making more of a profit.
You want it somewhat thick, or else people are like, why do I want to read that?
Right.
Thicker's better.
So my wife tells me. But yeah, anyway, so and that is the second hardcover that I have formatted. Obviously, the first one is Rebel Yell, which is of course right back there. But Nightblade is going to be released in seasons of 8 episodes. So in other words, every 2 months I will have a season, and the seasons will come out in paperback and hardcover, which again you'll be able to order online, but you'll also be able to order directly from me, and I'll do a pre-release thing where you can get autographed copies and the whole shebang. But yeah, dude, print is the bomb.
Is that Rebel Yell back there? Is that hardcover?
Yeah.
Is that did you do a sleeve or did you do?
I did a sleeve. I hate printing right on the thing.
See, I think I'm gonna do the Danny Calloway as printing directly on.
And I think that's appropriate for a kid's book, honestly. Yeah. We're talking about
because I'm looking at it, I'm like, I see it, I'm like, I don't want to give this to a 9-year-old. I remember when I was when I was 9 and I was like taking the thing off and I was like, I don't want to ruin it, but I don't want it on here because it's going to get ruined anyway.
Right. Yeah, and for anybody who doesn't quite get it, what we're talking about is you can have hardcover books where the design is printed right on the cover as opposed to having a dust jacket where the sleeve comes off.
So do you have another design on the actual hardcover, or is it just blank?
No, it's just gray. I'll pull it.
Lightning Source offers you blue and gray cloth covers, and that's it. And they have only one font type for the spine. That's something I didn't like. Is the spine they give very limited to print it onto the actual hardcover. Yeah, the book, and they offer you blue and gray.
Yeah, so you can have a gray cover like I chose, or you can have a blue cover, and that's the spine. You can't change your font, which is a little bit annoying.
You can't turn it around or anything.
Yeah, you can't do. There's no images. There's no nothing. So, but still,
That's another reason why I didn't like it, because I'm like, I don't know, kid is gonna take off my sleeve for Danny Calloway, and it's gonna show that, and I'm like, ugh.
But is the other option to have it printed directly on there?
Right.
Yeah, the other option is it's a hardcover, but it's printed. It's like if Danny Calloway were just hardcover, the paperbacks. I mean.
Right.
Yeah. And then you've got your sleeve, which is of course this thingy right here.
Right.
And that's cool because you've got your little author thingy right in there.
And that's why I liked that at first, because I was like, oh, the 2 inside sleeve flaps, I'm able to put more information there and open up the actual cover, but I just think for Danny Calloway it doesn't really work very well.
Yeah. I think for a children's book, the sleeves they're nice, but they're gonna go
Get
away.
destroyed. Yeah.
So you might as well have it printed on the cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, I feel obligated to mention at this point that hardcovers should not be a priority for anyone.
No.
First of all, they cost you money to set up. Second of all, very few people are going to buy them. I opened up Rebel Yell hardcovers for pre-orders, autograph pre-orders, and I've only had like 9, which is just it is barely going to justify the cost of putting them in hardcover. But
That's the other question. How much does it cost to get it set up?
It's like,
well, $50 up
Yeah.
front through Ingram Spark, and then if you need to like change your files or do there's several things that can increase that cost if.
isn't it like 150 total basically?
Well,
that.
with ordering your first physical copy, I ended up spending. They've changed their pricing structure, and I ended up spending about $70 total. So, yeah. But the thing is if you can afford to do it and you can do it right, this is so fucking cool. Like, that's the only reason.
Yeah, it's really cool, but it's if you can do it right. Because, like, for Danny Calloway, I went through, I don't even know how many times I had to change that thing, but with Lightning Source, and that's all I'm basing this off of, changes cost you money. You want to change something, it's going to cost you, and that's just, like, it makes me want to, oh my god, so annoying.
I think it would be good for like the book in your library, because most of your books, most of my books at least, are one-offs. Good, I put them on my shelf and I never look at them again. But some of them are they're the ones that I come back to over and over again. I keep redoing, keep going in that series or whatever, and those are the ones. The one I really really love. That's the one I might want to stick in a hardcover eventually.
Yeah.
Right.
See, I would love to see Midrealm in a hardcover, but I'd like to see it without a sleeve. I'd like to see it honestly printed on.
Leather bound.
Leather bound would be cool. Sure. Yeah.
With gold edges.
I'm saying if we're going Lightning Source and we had to choose, I would personally pick printed on because I feel like the sleeve wouldn't do it justice.
We would have to talk about that.
We have to talk about that. But that's down the road, so it doesn't matter.
By the way, a quick we should get on topic because we've actually gone about halfway through. But we exposing ourselves in public.
I thought that was.
Well, today.
No, but, I do want to do a quick help request or whatever you want to call it. Basically, if anybody wants to help me out and go report the first episode of Nightblade free on Amazon, I'm really trying to make that perma-free. So
there's a Facebook page for that.
Yeah, it's free on Kobo, it's free on Barnes & Noble and Apple, and I've emailed them. You know what pisses me off? Okay, every time I need a book to become perma-free, I always create this post, and I'm like, hey friends, please help me report this book as perma-free to Amazon so that they will change the price to free forever. I always get 2 or 3 people who go, oh, if you just go to your KDP dashboard, there's a little contact us button.
Oh my god.
And you can just email them and ask. And I did that for my book, and they changed it like within 24 hours. And I'm like,
really?
Well, whoop-de-fucking-do, because it doesn't work for me. I have done that with Realm Keepers Episode 1, Touch, the first Touch novella, the Hit Girls Episode 1, and now with Nightblade. And Amazon gives not a single rusty fuck. It is annoying as shit, and I want people to stop telling me to do it. But I appreciate your helpful suggestions, but stop. What's up, Carrot's butt? Sorry.
For our listeners, there is a Facebook group called, let's see, what is it called?
Is there a Facebook group to report your...
It's called Make Me Permafree.
No!
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was started
It
was started by one of our listeners.
Was it really?
I don't remember who it was. Yeah, I mean, there's 23 members in it, but...
Oh, it's a closed group. Oh,
is it?
Yeah, okay.
Well,
yeah, you have to request to get in, which is basically what it is. Let's see. Creeperson? No. The admin is Donovan Scherer.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that he's a listener. At least he contacted me. He was like, "Hey, man, you want to be part of this group?" And blah blah blah. I was like, "Sure, man." You know.
That's cool. Yeah. Well, you know what that? Oh, you know what that makes me want to do? I want to create a Permafree subreddit. Now I'm all like into Reddit. I'm like, it's the shit. I'm gonna do all
Reddit
this
is fun.
fucking stuff.
I lose hours.
Our listeners should go to Make Me Permafree on Facebook and get on part of that, because the thing is that helping other people out, once you get to that point where you need other people's help, you're gonna be like, I know what it feels like now.
Yeah, totally.
So help other people out.
And the thing is like I always report things perma-free. It takes literally 15 seconds and a couple of clicks. That's all it is if if you do it right. And it's just like I wish I thought that it would make a difference if I actually took one of my ISBNs that I fucking paid for and I assigned it to Nightblade Episode 1. And I was like, now it's the same ISBN. They'll know it's the same book. It's the same ISBN on Amazon and Nook and iBooks and Kobo and everywhere. And it's listed with Bowker as a free book. The retail price that is associated indefinitely and inextricably with the ISBN is $0. And Amazon's like, yeah, eat a dick.
99 cents. Yeah.
Anyway,
go to that group, guys. Make Me Permafree.
Yeah.
It's always good to help out because you're going to want help at some point.
Yes, you will. Yes,
nope,
you will.
I'm an island. No help.
So let's talk about exposing yourself in public. God, this is my favorite topic in the history of topics.
So I have this
just because you're a streaker. Come on.
And moving on. That hit way too close to home, Chrissy.
Oh, really?
Exposing yourself in public. I assume that you're talking about yourself to other people.
Yes.
Yeah. I do that. It's fun.
Yeah, we've seen pictures of you at the airport with people in your book.
Oh yeah, did you see that last one when I flew out of Miami? That was awesome. Okay, so I left a book at the airport. I do this every time I go to an airport. I leave Danny Calloway there and a little note that says free book. And I left it there, and I happened to see the family that sat down, and there's two kids, about 12 and maybe like 10, and they saw the book, and they're like, look, and they like got it, and it had the free thing, and they're like looking around, and they're looking through it, and the other kids are like running around to the other seats to see if there were any others. And I was able to take a picture of them. And then they found me on Facebook and thanked me for the book and said they were really looking forward to reading it, and I signed it and everything, and they're just really excited about it. And it's something like, I don't know, it's exposing that would be exposing myself in public in a public airport.
Be careful, the TSA might get you.
Yeah, but honestly, you can make it really fun when you do little games like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Super fun.
Chrissy, you had the experience of exposing yourself in public at a convention. Do you want to talk about that?
The PAX. Mostly, I just kept a bag with me that I had books and stickers and stuff in it, and we, every convention it's LineCon, whatever. So you're just sitting in lines for all freaking day. I sat in line for 2 freaking hours just to try out Elder Scrolls, and so there was all these people around me, and I got to talk about my book a little bit with a whole bunch of different people.
Nice.
That just gave me an idea.
What was the idea?
Comic-Con's going on in San Diego right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, right now.
Okay, Garrett, this is what you do.
Okay.
You make a page on our website for the free first episode of the ebook. You print out a shit ton of QR codes, and you go and just go hand them out.
Yeah, at Comic-Con.
Yes.
Totally can't go down there this weekend.
You can do it.
Okay.
That would be.
I know, like, it sucks because I know like 7 people that went.
That's actually one of the things somebody else had suggested on one of the other. I think it was Rocking Self-Publishing or whatever it was. She said she had QR codes, and it gave the free book away because it's easier to give a card that somebody's going to stick in their pocket than a book. When you're standing around Comic-Con or whatever, you don't want more stuff to carry around unless it's a T-shirt that you can wear later. You're like, whatever. I give
if it's a QR code, they get curious.
Yeah.
You know, if you put the cover on the front and then the QR code on the back, oh man, I wish I was in San Diego right now, or LA at least.
Well, NorwestCon is coming up in April. I want to go to that one. You guys should come up.
I'll send you. Oh. I was gonna say I'll send you our QR code cards.
I should definitely get one of those from me.
Yes. I think that's a great idea, guys. If anybody else does that or has done it, let us know how that went. Or else I'm going to try it next time I find a convention that's near me.
You guys have several free books, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, I literally only have Realm Keepers Episode 1, Permafree.
I actually have 2, and the other one is just
and you're trying to get Nightblade Permafree, right?
Yeah. And speaking of which, quick update on that. The subreddit Permafree now exists, owned by me.
I was wondering why you hadn't been talking for a bit.
Anybody who wants to go to Reddit, and I've created a couple of things. For example, I also started the subreddit Vlog a Novel. Anybody who wants to, anybody who's live writing, Simon Canton started doing a live on-air writing thing after I started doing mine. He was like, hey, do you mind? And I was like, fuck yeah, absolutely. I've made my living stealing people's ideas. Right. Do it, man.
I was actually considering it too, but
mine are all original.
And so now he and I are, wait a minute, don't you write a book series about an 11-year-old Indiana Jones? But yeah, so he and I are currently posting all of our stuff to the Vlog a Novel subreddit, which is not getting a lot of traffic, but this is
nobody knows about it yet.
Exactly.
This is why we expose ourselves in public.
This is why we do it.
Have you linked that to the fantasy writer thingy?
Vlog a Novel sub?
Yeah.
I have. Well, I've kind of let them know about it. Again, it's one of those things where I'm like, I'm not sure the best way to post it in there, so I'm very timid.
You don't want to overstep.
I'm like, I created a subreddit for the thing.
Well, the best way would be, here's my blog post for the day, and I also cross-posted it to this subreddit. Because you're saying it's right out there. I cross-posted it.
Right.
And then they might actually find it.
Right. So that's cool. I'm now creating the first post in Permafree. So if anybody wants to go over there and help out, good thing to do. But literally, it's one of those things where it's like you can just pop in there, see who has posted recently, report it, and then post your own thing. And like if enough people get in there, there's no reason it couldn't be a fantastic resource for self-published authors who are trying to make their shit free. Because we all want to help each other. I
think you could actually post that on the writing subreddit and say, I just created this subreddit for people who are trying to get Permafree for their books.
Yeah, that's a good idea. There's also a self-published Reddit subreddit, which would be another good place. So so that's a resource, and anybody who wants to do that.
And if you look in the sidebar of most Reddits, there are subreddits. There's links to a whole bunch of other subreddits that are, in the same category.
Yeah, totally. So that's cool. All right, so I want to now getting back onto the subject of exposing yourself. How much? What's your guys' rule for how much you do expose yourself?
I'm a very modest person.
I'm not.
I'm not either. Totally on. Just like full disclosure, I'm like, look what I'm doing, everybody.
If somebody asks me, I will tell them. Otherwise, I'm really reluctant to say, look at me, I'm an author, because it's your video and what if you asked other people the same things you ask artists? I don't want to get asked those questions, so if you're not interested, I'm not going to tell you about it.
Right.
And I did the book signing. I sold no books. And I sat there and talked to a few people who, only a few of them were actually interested. Everybody else was there for the wine. And it's very intimidating.
Yeah, well, I mean, that can be intimidating, but the thing is kind of just you have to get out there and continue doing it. The thing is, if you, it's knowing that you are an author, knowing that you, doesn't matter what anybody else thinks, you publish books, you have published books, and that's what you have. If that's who you make yourself to be, it doesn't even matter if somebody buys them at 1 or 2 signings. You will start selling them, and it's the beingness that you're having.
And there's also sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say having something like that, a card or something to hand them for free, is helpful.
Yeah.
You know, if you have something that you can say, well, here, just take this, then if they don't want to talk, then they don't want to talk. And it's a little less intimidating. So you can just say here.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, it makes me, I haven't even thought of doing this, but I'm probably going to do this now. Like, you can go to Vistaprint, which is just a printing type of site, and get like 1,000 business cards for like $50 or something.
Go to Moo.
Okay, Moo. And you just, if you design them yourself, and you can just design them so they link up to your free book, and it's like, boom, handout, Yeah,
I have the Moo mini cards.
Yeah.
Those are amazing. People love them. They look like bookmarks, so I can hand them out with my books, and people just they think they're adorable. They're conversation starters because they're half business cards and they're really thick. They're thicker than normal business cards, so they don't bend as easily.
That's cool. Yeah. For me, honestly, something that gets people talking and asking me like what I do for a living are my tattoos. Like it's ridiculous. Like, oh, we have quotes on your wrist. Why? Oh wow, you have create. I see it's in a typewriter font. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Every day, I am asked about my tattoos, which I love. It's a great promotional piece. But I'll tell them what I do.
You heard it here first, kids. Get tattooed with whatever you're doing on your face.
No, thank you.
But it's I like talking about what I do. I don't go over any numbers. I let them think whatever they want to. But I just, I'm an author. I have books. I sell them. And, I like saying Midrealm is doing pretty well in the UK and Canada because it is.
It is.
Yeah. So it's like, but I don't go into any numbers. I go, yeah, this is what I do for a living. And, and they ask me, oh, what kind of books do you write? And I'll tell them about, the 3 different genres that I'm currently writing in. And, they'll say, oh, I'll pick that up, or, oh, do you have a sample or something like that, and I'll hook them up. But when someone's interested, I'm totally down to be like, yeah, this is what I do, because usually people have not met a writer.
Right.
Like, people don't meet people that have written books. It's unusual. That have published books.
Right.
We know a lot of authors because we are authors, and that's our circle. But the everyday person is either, oh, I wanted to write a book once, or, I've never met a writer before. They have no idea that, oh, every book in that bookstore came from a writer,
Most of the people I talk to are people who come into my work because my work is very slow, so I end up sitting in my office a lot, and so they're like, well, what do you do all day? I'm like, well, I'm here because I'm a writer. I mean, I could go get a more intimidating, a job that takes more effort, but why?
That's how it was.
One thing that I've found very, very helpful in terms of putting yourself out there is, and honestly, this is something that I have to remember sometimes, because not to make myself sound like more of an asshole than regular podcast listeners already know me as, but like I can be pretty self-absorbed sometimes. Just just real talk.
Yeah.
So it's way more appealing to be interested in other people than to try to be interesting yourself. And so if I usually, like, not in a superficial like sex way, but if I meet someone who looks interesting to me, who looks appealing, something about their appearance, And it can be a guy wearing an Iron Man shirt, or it can be a girl who has that like side of her head shaved thingy, which is like, I don't. Some people I like that look on, some people I don't, but it's always interesting.
Mhm.
I tend to pick people like that who are not quite normal looking in one way or another, and initiate conversations with them, and and like be interested in them. I don't know if I'm explaining myself correctly, but I like to find people who interest me and find out about them, and I find that makes them more reverse interested as well,
Right.
if that makes sense.
Well, yeah.
No, yeah. I mean, I've had that in the last several weeks of people. I go, oh, what do you do? And we talk about that, and I honestly I'm not even interested in telling them I'm an author until they ask. And then I've also had a couple people, especially in the last couple of days, just because I've been so damn tired. They're like, "Oh, how's it going?" I'm like, "Good." I'm just shut it down. Oh, what do you do for a living? Stuff.
I'm a
I don't wanna
consultant.
talk about
Fuck you.
I'm too tired to talk.
Oh my god, that happened today. Actually, I felt really bad. I actually had to apologize to the guy yesterday. He
Okay.
tried to make conversation, and I'm just like,
I'm so
I
tired.
do not want to talk right now.
Buddy Got chimed in. I missed this. This comment's been sitting there for a while. I don't know if it was Hangouts. He said, first time in ages I've been able to watch an episode of the show live. Woohoo! All right. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. I'm going to be on Buddy's show on Monday, so tune in for that.
Nice.
Cool.
We're going to be talking Blog and Novel and Nightblade and all that stuff. I'm going to be on 2 broadcast radio shows in the next month.
Oh yeah.
So you're really exposing yourself.
I am exposing myself very publicly. I'm going to be exposed all over the internet. I'll never get that stuff offline.
So how did you get onto the radio shows?
There is a website which is actually really awesome. It's called what's it called? I'm subscribed to the radioguestlist.com, and if you sign up for them, they give you free emails every single day, and podcasters like I could go there and say, I'm looking for a guest like this, and you describe the type of guest you're looking for, and every single day they take all of the submissions they've received and they send it out to anybody who has signed up for those emails. So I get emails every day saying, these are the podcasts, this is what they're looking for, and here's their email addresses.
Yeah, so do I.
And people can pay. They make money because people pay to advertise as like an expert guest, so to speak. And then you can also pay for like premium services and stuff like that. But for me, I'm just like any podcast that says we'd love to interview an author. I'm like me, interview me. You want me?
Yeah, I haven't submitted to any of them, but I get their emails every day for the last, 6 months ago. You had me sign up for that. I was like, yeah, I'm going to do radio shows. Gary and I are going to get out, and I was like, I don't want to submit for anything.
Okay, all right. Storytelling podcast exclusive. This does not leave this broadcast, okay? It's a weird thing to say when you're talking about something that's going out on the internet. No, it's not. It's not whatever. But this is like, I almost felt a little. I wondered if David Wright would hate me for this. Let's just say that. I have created a false internet person, a false online persona, complete with a stock image.
Okay.
Yeah.
He is my publicist.
Oh.
Wow.
And he contacts podcasts and radio shows for me.
I like it.
Interviews.
I like it. That's something I would do.
Yeah. His name is Scott King. He's a vaguely Hispanic or possibly Middle Eastern looking individual.
Wait, do you call people with this? Because I'd love to hear the accent.
No, he's an email-only publicist. His email address is scottkingpress@gmail.com, scott.king.press@gmail.com.
Can he be my publicist too?
I was just gonna say, does he take any?
Jared has a whole new side business going on.
I am going to make so much money. He has. Hey, Dawn. We just got visited by my daughter, who wants to say hi. She just goes, "What is so funny?" Come here, say hi to the podcast, and then you got to go. Say hi. Whoop.
Hi, Don.
Zach is her godfather for anybody on the show. All right, sweetie, can you go hang out with Luke? Daddy's gonna come in 5 minutes.
But I want you to find Mommy.
Okay.
I don't know where he is.
She's downstairs.
They're
Or
playing
is she?
hide and go seek.
She left. She's avoiding children.
Oh, I just realized that he switched his whole room around.
Yep. I'm on the other side of the room.
Yeah, that was
Your
confusing.
Darth Vader's gone.
No, it's actually just it's right above, like there now. It's on the same wall that it was, but I flipped the camera around, so yeah, I need to move it.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I like
yeah,
that.
So
That's
Scott,
something I would definitely do.
yeah, Scott King is he's actually pretty good at holding interviews. He's a very, very awesome. What do you call it?
Publicist.
Oh my God, Scott Richards, you're awesome. He said, "I'm Italian, thank you very much. Get it right."
you know, because this is something that I would do, because it totally is.
Yeah.
And I've done similar things.
Yeah.
I know that David would hate that.
Yeah, I think so too.
100%. If Zach would do it, David hates it. That's the general rule.
Let's not tell David.
But it is, and maybe there is something to be learned from it, even if that lesson is simply when you are trying to put yourself out there and exposing yourself in public, and let's say you are composing a form letter to send to podcast to get yourself on an interview.
Yeah.
Create that persona, write the email, because, dude, let me tell you, Scott King sends some pretty amazing emails that make me sound awesome. So write that email, and then if you don't want to send it out under another persona because you think that's whatever, go back and rewrite it and change it to first person. And just allow, be that other person and allow yourself to talk about yourself like you are somebody else. Then go back and just change it to the fact where you're talking about yourself.
Yeah.
Is it much different than using a pen name? I swear.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
It depends. I did a similar thing, though. I wrote an entire article with... I wrote an entire article about Danny Calloway and how it was basically the next Harry Potter type of thing.
Yeah.
And and it went up on Yahoo and all that shit, but it was...
Now, important to note, he wrote that as somebody else.
I wrote that as somebody else, not myself. I posted that as some, group or something. I don't even remember what it was, but... And I put up the image was the Harry Potter book next to Danny Calloway, and
That's funny.
yeah, I don't know. If anything came of it, what's the harm? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely, I could see it being, I could see people abusing that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're not the same, and I would not equate them, but like I could see somebody being like, oh, well, if that's the case, then I'm going to create a fake book review website and review all my own books with 5 stars and then post those reviews on Amazon. No.
Right. I wasn't saying that they were the same.
Right. No.
Right.
Like that's something entirely different. But
Yeah.
but anyway. But yeah, and so in terms of like putting yourself out there and everything, do you have things that you are unwilling to do personally? Like I just brought Dawn and was like, say hi to the podcast. I happen to know for a fact that all 3 of the guys on SPP would be like, no, I don't want to do that with my family. I have no problem with it. What do you guys think?
I don't know. For me, like I have no interest in with Morgan ever being in the spotlight, or I don't know, our fans talking about her, because she's not. I don't know. She's not part of this whole thing. It's not. I don't know. For me, that's not something that I would do. So,
Yeah.
No.
The only thing I wouldn't do is get up in front of a crowd and give a speech. I
Well,
would
given that,
rather
we're
dig
done
my
now.
eyes out with a spoon.
See, that's something I love doing, like going to schools and talking in front of the kids.
Oh,
I love it.
Chrissy,
No.
do not dig your eyes out with a spoon. You want to use a melon baller.
Okay.
Preferably like, stainless steel.
Perfect size.
But no, and that's one thing. I think that as an indie, you naturally have to be more exposed than a traditionally published person. I mean, look at all the biggest authors out there, and like, sure, some of them have blogs, some of them have whatever, but you can't watch George R. R. Martin's podcast every week. You can't. There is no Brian Sanderson show like this one, and he doesn't vlog. Et cetera, et cetera. But then again, you do have guys like John Green who vlogs and also is like biggest bestseller in like the last several years. So I don't know. I think that it's awesome to have that level of interaction with your fans, and I am one of those people who, fortunately, doesn't mind it. I don't mind big crowds and whatever, but a lot of people hate that. So
I was found
I love it.
The question of the Green brothers is kind of interesting. Most of their fame came about because of Hank, but did John's writing tank off because of his writing or because of the podcast, or did they kind of feed off of each other?
Well, yeah, see, they build off of each other because they started the Buddy God said, Scott King saved my life back in the war. True story. Scott King's a great guy. He's fantastic.
We should have a whole backstory for him.
Dude, totally. He has a Google Plus profile.
We should write a book.
Dude,
Oh, he does?
Zach, start a Wikipedia page.
Done. Kickstarter.
Kickstarter. It's got to be better than the Kickstarter for potato salad.
Oh, let's not talk about that.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, no. Nope. We're not going to talk about it.
I'll tell you afterward.
Yeah, what were we talking about right before that?
I don't know. Buddy Cott said something about Scott
John
King
Green.
Oh, yeah, John Green. So basically, John Green was already an author. He had a couple of books out. And then Hank was doing like science writing and stuff like that. And they started the YouTube channel. Then they did the YouTube channel for a while. Nothing like was like they had fans, but whatever. And then Hank Green put out a song about Harry Potter. And boom, the channel kind of got really, really huge. Then they did more music stuff like that. But then John Green had some videos. One of their most popular videos of all time is John Green's video on American healthcare. And that was because that
was recently.
Well, I mean, you say recently, but it was more than a year ago.
Yeah, but they were way famous before that.
Yeah, I mean, way famous is like a thing. But see,
then on YouTube, they're one of the top YouTube channels.
Well, actually, not even. They're not even in the top 50 in terms of subscribers and views. But here's the thing: they were big. They were big-ish. Then John Green said, "Hey, The Fault in Our Stars, you can go pre-order it now." It shot to the New York Times bestseller list because you actually don't need that many sales to hit the New York Times bestseller list. And if they've got 500,000 followers and those followers are all going and pre-ordering the book, that is enough to keep you on the New York Times bestseller list for many weeks. Then, because it's on the New York Times bestseller list, then the press is like, who the hell are these guys? Oh, they got famous because of a vlog. They start running with the story, and boom, by the time The Fault in Our Stars releases, they have 2 million subscribers, and they've quadrupled their size. So it's like,
so it
it's
feeds
one
off
on
of
top
each
of the
other.
other. Exactly. And that's why I do
He gets
everything.
very upset, though, if people say it's because of the vlog, and which I think is kind of funny because it is partly because of the vlog. Yes, he's a good writer. Yes, he comes up with, he tells heart-wrenching stories and stuff, but it's still because people like him.
He gets upset if people say that the book is popular because of the vlog?
Sometimes, yeah.
Oh.
I can understand that.
I can understand that. I just think it's...
He is... Like Neil Gaiman. People buy his stuff because they like Neil Gaiman. Neil Gaiman is a wonderful person.
And that's the thing. It's like, I could understand being upset if somebody says, well, your book isn't good and it's only selling well because of your vlog. Yeah, I'd be upset at that too.
Well,
but if it's like, your book is so popular because you got the vlog thing, And he's like, yeah, like that, like our support and thank you, Nerdfighteria, you guys are awesome. It's a promotional tool, and
Right.
it's why it's one of the reasons why I do fucking everything, 2 podcasts and a vlog and now a vlog and novel and because it's like it all just helps everything else. You guys know I'm going to be doing a song on the vlog pretty soon.
Oh,
Oh.
God.
It's about Game of Thrones.
Oh, really?
I'm gonna collaborate. With a couple other fun, really, really awesome YouTubers that I know, and like I love their channels. So it's gonna be fun. It'll be funny.
Good.
Anyway,
We should wrap this up.
yeah, we should. We're over time,
Yeah.
but yeah. So I guess my main takeaway from the hour is find what's comfortable. Find what's a comfortable level of exposure for yourself, and shoot for that. And if that's literally in front of cameras all day, every day, and you can actually manage to do that somehow, sure. It can't hurt unless you get on there and start spouting Nazi shit. But failing that, and then if you're not, if you like you said, Chris, you like would never speak in front of a crowd. Find what you can do and just focus on that and work out a plan that kind of revolves around that. I mean, your blog is fantastic. I love your blog, and that's
Thank you.
That's that and other places like this show and whatever sort of seem to be nicely in your comfort zone.
Yeah. Honestly, I would say, find what you're willing to do, and I'll take a step further than that. That's what I would say, because I think it might be a little
If
bit
I take a step
uncomfortable.
further, I might actually go to jail.
You've already taken your step further, Garrett. The thing is that when Garrett, when we
Streaks in
first
public?
started working together, I guess, Garrett, there was a couple times when Garrett's like, "Hey, Zach, go talk to that person." I'm like, "Garrett, go talk to him yourself." And you're like, "No, but you're so much better at it." I'm like,
Well, you
are
are.
you
No,
kidding?
that's true.
But I'm just saying, it's like, you start putting yourself out there, taking small baby steps closer, and it's like
Mhm.
you'll go from a hermit to a Robinson, and
I don't know. I'm very good at being a hermit.
Which is
I'm
cool.
not-
Lots of people like being
yeah.
around.
Which I'm not saying you shouldn't be a hermit, but I'm saying if you want to get more exposure, not necessarily you, Chrissy. I'm just talking about anybody. they just because when I say you, I don't mean you. I mean our listeners. Is that take one step closer? Do like, for example, when I wrote that thing with Danny Calloway and Harry Potter, it was a little bit uncomfortable for me, and I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna hit send. And whatever's gonna come is gonna come. It's like whatever. I bought Twitter followers at one point, and I was like, whatever.
Yeah. It's
cares?
like if you don't do something that you know is wrong,
Right.
but then
buying reviews, that is wrong. Do not.
yeah,
do
like
that.
we all know that's wrong, but John Locke still doesn't think that's wrong, and it's just like, dude.
Does he still do it?
I mean, I don't know for sure, but he just defended it. It was like, yeah, totally, I did that. Like, what's the big deal? Like, it's totally a thing, And the thing is that harmed his career very, very significantly. But I would say that if you have to decide for yourself what your philosophy is when you don't know, when you're like, this makes me feel uncomfortable, but I don't think analytically that it's wrong. It means for me and Zach, and like for Sean, for example, over on SPP, and Johnny, I think the philosophy is do it. And if you need to apologize, if afterwards somebody's like, you're an asshole, and they have a good reason for it, and you're like, oh, dude, my bad.
Yeah.
Be willing to be in that situation. And for like Dave, it's like, if I have any question about it whatsoever, I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah, right, yeah. For
Go
me,
back to the basement and torture another kitten.
and Dave actually asked me about that. He asked me about that offline once. Chrissy, I think you were there. We were having a little powwow offline almost a year ago, probably. I was outside of Starbucks at the time. But he asked me, he was like, I don't understand how you can just go and ask somebody for something. Because I think I asked
Oh yeah, I remember that
an
conversation.
author to, I don't even remember what it was. But
You were tweeting a bunch of celebrities,
Yeah.
asking them to tweet your book.
Sure. It was something like that. But a lot of those were fake, though. It's like if I tweet to
Fake celebrities?
If I tweet to, I don't know, Neil Patrick Harris, he's not going to see my tweet.
Oh, well, yeah.
It's not like I'm actually doing it like, oh my God, hopefully he sees it. Anyway, but he was like, I don't even understand how you can go ask these people these things. And I'm like, dude, here's my philosophy. If I ask them and they're upset, I can always just handle them. If they're not, fine. And he's like, oh, I guess I could see that.
Yeah. And you have to put yourself in the other person's shoes. Like I feel like if you're the type of person who doesn't like being asked for things, then you wouldn't do that because you wouldn't want somebody to do it to you. But for me, if somebody comes to me and they're like, hey, can you give me advice on self-publishing? Or, hey, would you mind helping me report my book as free? I'm like, oh, dude, I'm happy to help. Yeah, absolutely. So I have no problem turning around and being like, hey, dude, do you think you could, like, give me 20 seconds and a couple of clicks? Whereas other people, they're like, everybody leave me alone and I'll leave you alone, and that's my philosophy on life.
Right.
And if you
I have absolutely no problem whatsoever people coming and asking me for help. I will happily give out help. I will not ask for help unless I absolutely need it because I was trained from a very small age that you don't ask for anything ever. And it's really, really hard habit to break. It's a terrible habit, I know, because I could use some help sometimes, but but it's really hard. And then the whole rejection thing, if somebody says no and,
See, and that's the thing. You have to be willing to have them say no. I say no to a lot of people when they ask me for things. But, I go, well...
Can I have $1 million?
Right. They're asking me for something. I'm going to say no. They should have been prepared for me to say no. And that's how I go into it. I go into it, honestly, expecting people to say no. But, like, I've had, like, Kevin Smith, like, reply to some of my stuff. And I'm like, that's awesome,
Yeah. Thank you for refusing to do that. No, I have talked on this show before about how incredibly helpful Sean was to me when I lost my job and decided, hey, maybe I'll try writing full time, and just like the stupidest decision in the world that somehow worked out. And he was incredibly helpful to me, and I did ask him for, like, he offered certain things, and then I asked him for certain things, and I was always like, hey, dude, I totally understand if you can't do this, but if you could, it would, like, really, really be helpful. And sometimes he was like, yeah, totally, and sometimes he was like, dude, so totally overloaded right now, but, like, best of luck, or here's an idea, or whatever. And that's the other thing, too, is that, like, if you can find people where there can be some reciprocation, some, some, like, scratch my back, I'll scratch yours is the wrong term for it, but, like, helping each other out, some co-helping each other out, it can be really awesome, and it becomes a real partnership rather than sucking somebody dry. Yeah. So we really do have to wrap up. We're well over time now, but things to know: you can and should go get Nightblade by Garrett Robinson, but you should report it on Amazon as free, perma-free. Please help me do this. I really want that fucker to be free. God
also, if you want Ninja Bread Man 2, tweet Garrett and tell him to get it to
me. Feel free to do that. Absolutely do that. Oh my God. Okay, I have to share one tweet exchange today. So I tweeted something. I forget what it was, and then Emarsh tweeted back and said, "Hey, you're at tweet number 6,665. Make your next tweet count, because it would be 6666." And so I replied, "I will," and then replied, "Fuck." I was proud of myself for that one. Anyway, yeah, and Chrissy, your new thing for people to go to?
Twilight Tales will be free on Amazon tomorrow.
Twilight Tales free on Amazon tomorrow. What?
Wait.
For the weekend.
For the weekend. So over the weekend, if you are watching this live, and if you're an audio viewer, I'm so sorry. You're hearing this after the audio feed has been restored, and I really, truly apologize. So thank you, everybody who tuned in. Thank you, Scott Richards, Buddy Gott, and what was his name? Marco. Thank you guys for all of your live comments. Sorry that we were gone for so long of a time, we will be back on a regular schedule in the extremely near future.
Thank
We'll
God.
see you soon. I'm at GarrettBRobinson.com. Zach is at ZCBolger.com. And you can find Chrissy over at ChrissyMoss.com. We will see you soon, guys. Good night.